Hello guys, Smithy here. In this video we are going to talk about Eclipse rework or buff, let's say, on Korean server, and as well we will check for Destroyer and Void Knight buffs that were added in the last patch. So without further ado, let's begin with the buffs. First of all, the second skill was changed so that now it has super armor in field, but it's not applied in arena. Pretty cool change now with that skill, adding to Eclipse kit's 7th immunity skill for field, so no other skill lost its super armor. Second skill that was changed is the third skill. I don't remember the name, sorry guys. Third skill received an increased range on the hitbox, so the hitbox is kinda bigger than it was before. I don't know by how much, maybe by 10%, but it doesn't say. Next skill that was changed was this skill right here, the lunge. This is the lunge, yeah, I remember. So lunge was changed. Now it gained an increased attack damage by about 20% or so. Before it was like 330, now it's 420, so much more damage for that skill. And not only that, it gained a unique passive that reduces cooldown by 3 seconds every time you hit an enemy. So this is kinda insane, and I will show you why. So first of all, let's check. We have 2 casts of it and 6 seconds cooldown. And every time you hit somebody, you will reduce cooldown by 3 seconds. So by hitting 2 times, you will reduce cooldown by 6 seconds, and you will be able to use it once again. Let me show you how it works. So as you can see, I have 2 casts, and now I will cast it on here. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I can do 3 hits of it because of the reduced cooldown every time you hit. So this skill gained an insane power of damage, ability to cast it like 3 times, and this giving her even more damage. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, as you can see, and like shorter before. After that, you can use it once again. Allowed Eclipse to become top 1 damage dealer in the game, because now she has the highest damage stunlock combo in the game and also highest DPS burst in the game as well. Not only that, what's changed that skill even further, even higher, is that now you can use that skill one after another. So OP skill right here deals tons of damage, it's fast, and it has like cooldown reduction, so even more damage for that skill. Alright, next skill that was changed or buffed was Riposte. Riposte received a buff by like, I don't know, like 20% extra damage buff for that skill as well. And at last, that skill right here, I don't remember the name as well, it was changed that the flow now is a buff of 150% extra damage and 6 hits. So what does it mean? That means basically it multiplies the damage by 2. Anyway, that's about it for Eclipse buff. Let's check it out once again. So second skill got a super armor for field, that's all. Third skill got a range increase. Then lunge received a damage buff, received a fast cast buff, and also gained a cooldown reduction buff as every time you hit an enemy, so you can use it like 3 times when it's off cooldown. Riposte as well gain a damage buff. And yeah, of course, that skill right here is Star Shatter. Gain a big buff that basically increased its damage by 2 times, but instead it lost the ability to cast other skills right after it. But once again, you can cast it much faster than you would cast it before. Now the cast time is much faster. Okay, finishing with Eclipse, let's check out what happened to Destroyer. Okay, Destroyer also received an insanely highly priced buff, I would call it, and I'm really struggling of what would I choose, Destroyer or Eclipse right now, but let's begin. First of all, the Overheat Buff, Overheat Passive, was buffed by 20% damage reduction every time you have it. You have 20% damage reduction and 15% damage to monster, which is the buff he was missing because he was kind of bad for Ramones. and now with that extra monster damage he will be much better. Now that skill, you will be able to take buffs with that skill, with that passive as well. So kind of cool buff for that, and 20% damage reduction, that's insanely high number. Now you will have like 50% PvP damage reduction for Destroyer in this passive. Let's check it out. Without it I have 0.1, minus 0.1. Now let's overheat. Okay, I have my overheat on, and now let's check the stats. And now as you can see I have minus 20%. So if you have like 30% PvP damage reduction in field with Sushi, you will have max PvP damage reduction for Destroyer. And don't forget that he has like double invincibility with that skill right here, and with ability like to block 50% of the damage. Because of the 50% damage reduction, he will survive much longer, and he will be able to out heal better with Slugfest, because now he will take less damage than he was taking before. Insane buff, great, I like it. And also extra damage to monster. Not to talk that Destroyer is one of the best like continuous DPS classes in the game, because he deals lots of damage with Slugfest. He can do lots of burst damage with the 2 shots and then continued damage. So he is constantly dealing lots and lots of damage, and that's all the damage comes is from super armor abilities, which is insanely good. Okay, moving on to the second buff. Fire bomb or fire shot or whatever it's called, I don't remember, gained a very big damage buff. It's raised its damage from like 670 to 900% at level 10, so about like 30% or like 25% extra damage to that fire shot. So insane buff, because that skill, if you remember, allows you to deal double the damage with overheat on. So more damage to that skill and even more damage because of that overheat. So insane damage, and that combo right here with overheat, let me overheat, and if you remember this ranged combo right here with overheat will deal so much burst and so much damage, and it's a ranged combo, and you are basically most of times using that ranged combo in field. Like every time you can like do this, and then you like wait for cooldowns with Slugfest, and then continue once again with the ranged combo. OP, not gonna lie, like 20% damage reduction, more damage with fire shot, and that's not all. The last thing that was changed was firefly, whatever, where he jumps and flies all over the place. So what was changed here? First of all, is that now he gains invincibility during fly. So and super armor when he hits. So every time you press the skill and fly, you will be invincible. Guys, invincible. Just think about it, like you do 1, 2, you do the burst combo, and then you fly away, and all that like motion will be invincible. That's insane. Like you can again do like invincible flies in between enemies with Destroyer, because now you can do 1, 2, 1, 2, and you will be always invincible. 1, 2, blink, blink, 1, 2, and then you fly away. 1, 2, and once again. So again he gains that invincible motion that was cut before because of the post animation nerf. Now you can do it once again with Destroyer, and now it gives him even more like profit because of that skill, because now you can change your position without even taking damage. That's so insane. The only motion that has super armor is when he attacks. So when he falls down is when he has super armor. All the rest time he's always invincible, overpowered. In my opinion, that's insane buff. And also he can be grabbed, I think, during that skill, or no, he can be grabbed when he lands. So make sure to grab him when he lands. That's the only like a little moment when he can be grabbed, and that's about it. But that brings lots of utility for field and as well for arena, because now he can escape lots of damage with that skill as well. And also the second buff for that skill is that it gains now extra 20% damage for that skill, how it's called, ground smash, whatever. So extra 20% damage for the skill after you use that skill right here. And as you all know, it's a great combo when you use it, because after you use that Firefly, that ground smash will have faster attack speed, and let's like buff ourselves with the overheat and use it, and you will see how faster that skill is being used. The damage is insane, so make sure to always use that skill right after the fire charge to do some more extra damage. So nice buffs for Destroyer. It was only 3 skills that got buffed, but that's kind of good. How will Destroyer be now compared to how it was before? So 20% extra PvP damage reduction, 50% extra damage to mobs, 25% extra damage to fire shot, and as well invincibility during that Firefly. And I'm really concerned about remaining Destroyer or changing to Eclipse, because both of those classes look so good. The Eclipse has such a nice damage and Destroyer has such nice utility and versatility and damage as well, so I'm still thinking about what to choose. And that was about it for Destroyer. I'm sorry I don't have a Void Knight here to review, and my Phantasma doesn't have the reroll for Awakening, but I can show you in the browser. Okay, now talking about Void Knight, as you can see, she received changes on 2 skills. First of all, the best change for everyone. You remember that weird and very bad fog, or how it's called, darkening on Void Knight, where she always escaped from you in arena? Now she won't be able to do this anymore, because now that skill loses super armor and she can get CC during that skill. If you are able to hit her during that fog, you can always stun her. Now she will become a more fighter class rather than always running weird class for brain dead people. Whatever. And the second skill that was changed, Wheel of Fortune now received that super armor that was taken from the foe. So now it will have super armor. So she will be able to fight better than before, but she won't be able to escape as good as before. So that's kind of cool. Super armor was added to Wheel of Fortune. Basically it was changed a little bit. Now she will do a slash, she will still knock back the enemy, and she will have super armor during that skill. So it will do lots of damage, the skill, and the combo will still remain the same. The only thing that changed is now Void Knight won't be able to run endlessly from you in arena. That's pretty cool. I like these changes, and I'm sure Void Knights won't like this change, because they will hate this change, and now Void Knights will start to cry. Okay, and last 2 changes that were implemented in Korea is now Huntress. Now you remember that passive that she deals extra 20% damage for every second skill. Now every second skill will deal 30% extra more damage. And Windwalker also was changed. Now additional critical damage was increased by 10%. Kinda stupid change. Like, the buff isn't that good, and the movement distance of the flow additional attack was increased for Spirit Raw. So still Windwalker one of the worst classes, and these buffs won't change her at all. She needs a good rework in order to become useful. And for Huntress, extra 10% damage for the passive, kinda cool, not gonna lie. And that's about it for the changes. Hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching, and see ya on the next video. Bye bye.